Hi, this is Adam from Beyond Medicine. Today I'd like to talk about Immortality Vishnu. So Immortality Vishnu is probably one of people's favorites for a variety of reasons. First, I'd like to go into the construction of it, and then I'll describe the effects of it. So Immortality Vishnu has 15 levels of immortality. So I've stacked up 15 levels of immortality. So it's quite a strong effect. Now, at some points, like Garuda's strong, that's 5 levels of immortality. And then 15, it seems to be quite strong as well. So Immortality Vishnu is quite strong in terms of its effect on the body. In the beginning, I had to take it like every second day because it was almost too stimulating. Now I can take it every day quite happily. But what Immortality Vishnu does is that it allows us to embody the state of effortless perfection where everything is accomplished very easily. You know, the image I have that keeps coming back to me when I think about Vishnu is of lying in bed, just waking up, pulling my bow, an arrow, and like releasing the arrow, and bang, it hits the target dead center. The sense of everything accomplished without too much effort. Now, this is important because it allows us to set up a new nervous system installation in our body, and a nervous system installation where we win all the time, as opposed to like, I win today, but I'm going to lose tomorrow because I've had an up, so I have to have a down now. Somehow we've been conditioned to think if we have a good day, we have to have a bad day to balance it out. But this, I believe, is just wrong thinking. It's come from possibly a human perspective where, you kind of trying to avoid disappointment. So you almost set up a bad day so that if a bad day comes, you feel okay about it happening. But the truth of the matter is there's no reason we shouldn't have a fantastic day every day, unless there's learning or karmic stuff that needs to play out. But if we have a succession of really positive days, really optimistic days where we feel great and really feel like ourselves, but our highest aspect, our best aspect, then this sets up a way of being in ourselves where we get used to everything going our way all the time and things working out. And even if they don't work out, we just brush them off because, like, who cares? As opposed to going down when we go down and getting caught in that and like, oh, poor me, oh, it was everything that go right with me. That kind of thinking is the absolute opposite of Vishnu. Vishnu is like, everything goes my way, I win. And when I don't, it's just karmic, or it's like, whatever, why was I even stressing about such a thing in the first place? So this is really what Immortality Vishnu allows us to instill in our body. Now, if we want an even stronger effect with this, we take it in conjunction with creation, which is also about best day ever. So we have the conjunction of best day ever combined with I win and I feel fantastic. So it's a very powerful installation we can give to ourselves. They say it takes 21 days to form new habits, but if we were giving this to ourselves for 21 days, like basically a bottle's a bit more, but so a bottle of this gives us the feeling that we are always winning, we're always going to win, and everything is going to go our way all the time. And this is a very powerful message because we're not fed this as children. As children, we're like, oh, get used to disappointment, or even when the football match, whatever, bad things happen sometimes, we get used to that, and so we kind of expect it. Or we're at the mercy of our moods, and every day there's a slightly different mood. So we get used to such a sense of things changing all the time, and that we're not really in control of our moods, they're in control of us. But what we're doing here is we're setting the mood for the day on feel great, I accomplish everything I want, everything's easy, I'm open, I'm expanded, I'm happy. It's really easy to do stuff. And a number of people commented on this, that like when they take Vishnu, it's like if things just go their way, they suddenly start getting stuff together they didn't get together, and it doesn't become a struggle. Often when we have to initiate action that we haven't previously taken, we have to struggle uphill and sort of really push the boulder over the hill to create a new pattern. But this is not the case with Vishnu. It's like plug and play. You take it, you feel great. Oh, this is easy, I do it. oh, that was easy, that becomes the pattern. So we get used to the sense of easy accomplishment. And whether we take 1, 2, 3, or 4 bottles of this, or we just take it when we need to remind our body of this, this is what we're doing with Immortality Vishnu. We're setting in place a state of mind which we can use to reference our reality and to, step into every day. Now, for myself, I took it probably every day for 3 months, mostly in conjunction with creation, sometimes not, until I felt I'd got it. I'd got this feeling of like, I win, at whatever I do. It's easy. The winning is easy. The getting what you want is easy. That we don't have to struggle in our life to necessarily get what we want, although we're not going to come to some negative outcome because we had a positive outcome. I mean, when I think of this thinking, it just seems like archaic. It seems bizarre. But this is what we've been taught. And I think some of it's to avoid disappointment. But Vishnu he's the Lord of preservation. So the idea is like there's Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer, and they all play a part in the living of the world. But I mean, Vishnu was the original, creator of things, and he preserves stuff. And whenever there's a problem, they call Vishnu, and he comes to the rescue and sorts it out. Because it falls to him to preserve the actions of the universe. Now, when we look at it, we're born, and then we're kind of preserving everything after that. We're preserving our bodies in a state of relative health. We're preserving our health by eating. We're preserving our house by maintaining it and fixing it. We're preserving our car by maintaining it. So life is a sequence of these preservation events, which we can obviously turn into something which is very pleasant or something which is very unpleasant. It can seem like a real hassle to struggle uphill all the time to get things done. Like, I've got to fix my car. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. This broke, whatever. I've got to go shopping. And like these things can be done in the mood of enjoyment, or like, oh wow, I just ticked that off. I did that, or like, oh, what's next? The sense of excitement around actions and living in the world, or it can be done in the mood of like, wow, like, this is all a real drag. Oh, I've got to fix my car now, and that's the wrong mood, because whether we like it or not, we have to do that stuff unless we decide to live in a cave. But if we're living in the world, that's part of what we have to do. We have to, go to, the place where we renew our license and renew the license and get our eye test, or go get a new passport, or deal with tax, or all of these things are potentially things that can cause us to suffer. But if we're viewing them as like, this is all part of what I do in order to live here, it's not a hassle, it's not an effort, it'll just be accomplished without effort, then these are some very huge ticks that we put in place in ourselves. And then the feeling in our body is not one of like resentment or it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, yeah, I've got this, I'll just do it, and then it's done, and like on my way to playing some tennis or going surfing or doing whatever I do. But it's no more disturbing to us than like something like a dinner party, for example, or going out with friends. It's just, oh, this is just another action to be done, and I do it without aversion. So, and in the doing without aversion, it gets done quickly, and then it's done. And then the whole concept of complaining about anything just disappears, because you quite simply got it. I've got this. It's not a problem. I'll deal with it. So what we're looking at here is setting up Immortality Vishnu as an archetypal way of dealing with the world. So we take it until we feel it to be so, and we see it to be so in ourselves. Then we know it to be so in ourselves, and then we keep taking it until we get to the point where, okay, well, it's not doing much because this is me already. This is how I am now. And then we can obviously we can move on to Gaia or Asgard or wherever else we want to move to. But it's useful to really set this up as an archetype of easy accomplishment and enjoyment of potentially unpleasant things in the world. And when we look at what we don't like about our reality, a lot of it is in that category of like, oh, I don't like doing this and doing that. But if we were to get to the point where the feeling that I've got this and it's not a problem, it's easy and I'll just accomplish it quickly and then it'll be done and I'll get the sense of accomplishment having done it, I'll get off my plate, I have to pay my tax because I paid it, then life becomes fun. So what's in this, and in addition to the 15 levels of immortality, are two Vishnu mantras, the Vishnu mantra of accomplishment, and then there's the Siddhidatri mantra. Now, Siddhidatri is a feminine archetype, and she was the one who is said to give you Siddhi. Siddhi means power. So this is giving you the powers, the skills, whether it's perfect memory or reading minds or, telepathy or dream stuff. I mean, these are all considered to be the powers, but I put this in because I thought, well, if people have access to this, then at least they can go look for it. At least it sets up the channel for us to be able to access this. Because we must bear in mind that whenever we take a mantra, we're consuming the frequency of that connection to that archetype. Now, whether one sees these archetypes as necessarily real or not is almost irrelevant. But, if billions of people see this Vishnu mantra as the mantra of preservation and accomplishment, then this is what it almost becomes. And this is what, when we take it, we're ingesting this feeling, this sense of like, oh, Vishnu, the Lord of preservation, accomplishes everything easily. And this is what we're teaching ourselves as a cellular experience. We're taking it, it's having an effect on our cells and it's rippling out through us in order to create this feeling of, wow, accomplishment. So that, in a nutshell, is Immortality Vishnu. As I said, it's one of the favorites for obvious reasons, and I think anyone who hasn't taken it should really take it because it allows us to make our life a lot easier. We don't really have to struggle with a lot of stuff anymore, and that really is, the grind that most people complain about. It's like, oh, life's good, but we've got all this admin to do and this PT and all this stuff. But what if that wasn't there? Or what if it was there, but it wasn't perceived as struggle? What if it was there as just, well, I've got this and it's not a problem, and that was that? Then a whole chunk of our life, which is now in the category of hassle, would be put in the category of not a problem. And that's fine. And that would obviously make our experience of living much, much better. As I said, it combines very nicely with creation. Also, it alternates very nicely with Gaia or Asgard from time to time. But whenever you want to instill in yourself the sense of like, oh, I want to have a great day, I don't have to worry about having a great day. I'm taking my daughter out for the day and I want to just have a fantastic day with her without any kind of excessively mind-heady stuff. I just want to have a good day. That's when I take Vishnu. Okay, there's Adam from Biomedicine. That's Vishnu.